Although they did start working with the Beals revolver in the year of 1856, it would not be the same as what you think of the Remington New Model Army today.
And if you're like me, you're into the history stuff, the books, you like the guns are worth their weight. Because again, it's fun to shoot, it's fun to point with, but without the story there, if you're a history person like I am, without the story, it really doesn't mean all that.
Ruger Security 9.
Can I redraw?
You already looked?
No.
You sure
Right.
you didn't?
Now on three.
Another pro, at least a pro to me, is these guns are kind of a project. I like to look at them as I'm getting an advanced kit build in the mail whenever I get one. So it's a project that you can go down the road and you can either leave it as
Most people believe that the Walker was Colt's first extent to a very, very large pistol, but it wasn't. This was. This is Colt's 1839 to patent firearms revolving carbine pistol. It is massive.
And hello, everybody. Guess what? This was going to be a big reload show. I was hoping to have several people on tonight, and it looks like you got me and Duke again, at least for the beginning. The faithful few, right, Duke? Duke. Anyway.
Sorry, I was getting a Coke.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, mine's empty. Hold on just a second while I mute my mic. I had to put in my order for more Coke. We joked around about naming this live chat tonight the Coca-Cola Corporation defeats the heat. Because I don't know about where you're at today, but it's hot down here today.
It wasn't near as hot today as it was yesterday.
It was 106 today.
We was 104 yesterday. I think we're 95 today.
Binning seed wheat in that weather was real fun. So my rosy red cheeks aren't just from the lighting tonight. But anyway, we didn't really have a topic. We were just going to have a conversation amongst friends, and Snapper will hopefully be here pretty soon. And Sheldon was going to be here, but something come up, and I see what came up. Something came up for Sheldon, and he can't be here tonight. And so we're going to miss him. He said it was so hot up there this morning, his war paint was running. So he's not going to be here tonight. Hopefully Snapper comes in. All right, let's jump in here and see what all we got in the comment section. Who all's here? We have Diane Houston says, hello all. Hope everyone is doing well. JB said, hope all is well. Been missing videos, gents. Yeah, they're not coming out as fast as they should. But within by next Wednesday for sure, we will have the next Trapdoor episode out. We're in the middle of filming it right now. That's why I don't have light on. The office is a wreck, full of clothes and guns and books. Doug Duke said, so glad we are having a chat tonight. I need it. Well, I'm glad you're here. Louisiana Grace said, good evening to all. Hope all are well. Gunsmith 4570 said, hi, everyone. AR Americans, and said, good evening. Oh, thank you. We got a moderator in here tonight. Maybe it won't go as bad as it did last week.
Oh, Jesus.
Kodak Tackman.
Bad.
Evening, fellas. Louisiana Grace, I wonder what the topic of the chat is tonight. Whatever you guys want the topic to be. We're here to talk about whatever you want. Sorry.
It may have good and evil.
Pardon me, wheat dust. I might cough a little tonight. Garza Vlog says, evening. Patrick Henry says, where are you guys? Mild all day in Illinois. Well, I'm on the Kansas-Oklahoma line. Duke's over there in that other state.
I'm in the People's Republic of Colorado.
Desert Boy said, howdy from Montana. One guy said, wow, good evening, guys. Todd B said, howdy, boy. Does anyone have air conditioning? I have one window unit, but it's way in there. I don't really have much. Not much. How's your air conditioning, Duke? Fan in the window?
Yeah, that's what I just had to stand up for. As I looked over and the curtain was hanging in front of it, I was like, no wonder it's getting hot in here.
Like poor Caleb, he had air conditioning. He lives in the studio over there. Almost doesn't live there pretty soon. He'll be moved out of there in probably a month. But he had air conditioning in there. When I rebuilt the trapdoor side of the studio that you all have been seeing, the white side with the big table and everything, I took his air conditioner out. That was last spring. He still ain't got that back in. That poor guy says, we ain't filming anything in there. It's too hot. So, okay. Does everyone have air conditioning? Hella nice to see you. Howdy, fellas. Chris Boyd said, evening, boys. Best live stream on YouTube. Salvador, hey! How come you can be in the chat, but you can't be on the chat? Fancy firearms. Yeah, Todd B, I have some thoughts on that, and I'm not gonna. AR said he's gonna try to stay for the whole show. So yeah, he did have a trapdoor, and there was some, and he thought he'd got a good deal on it, and he had good history on it. He actually went through, and he's never done this before. He mentioned the 65 and the 58 rim fire and all that stuff. He had a really good video, but he did mention that I noticed he had the Buffington sight, and he said that the gun was made in, I think, 1887, but he had what he called the 1878 stamp on it, which he knew was a malfunctioning die. And that 1878 looking stamp, I have to remember the exact years. I just sent a deal on this to Shot Shula, but I believe that is the 1879 to 1882. So what's happened with his gun is he has a gun made in 1887 that is an 1884 model, and someone has replaced the door on it with a little bit older door. But he doesn't know that, but it's fine. He has a great video on it. He did some really good history and shooting on it, and he even went into deep detail of the reason of the guns jamming at Little Bighorn. He went into deep detail on the, what do you call it,
Corrosion.
Basically, he came right out and said the guns jammed because the bullets were carried in leather. And I've never heard a big YouTuber say that before. So he had done his research. Yeah, his gun has one mismatched part on it, but it's either here or there.
Who are we talking about?
Hickok 45 put out a video on 1873s.
Oh,
What he has is an 1884 model, but it has an older 1870, basically an 1879 door on it.
right.
Because he gives the serial number for the year, and then he gives the stamping on the door, and they don't match up. So, but that's actually very common. And I went through this with Shot Shula because that actually happened to a whole lot of the New Jersey guns. Duke, you've dealt with some New Jersey militia weaponry before, haven't you?
Just a Gatling gun.
They come in excellent condition, don't they? You know why? Because they never went anywhere.
Never got used, got issued out, goes into the warehouse, and that's where it sits, boys and girls.
Well, the thing about those New Jersey and a couple of other states' trapdoor rifles is they tend to always have replaced older doors on them and really nice, bright, shiny bores. Because they've never been fired, but they've been inspected 87,000 times over 30 years where they throw that door open and wear the hinge out so people get it and they replace the door. So it was, yeah, that's what he has. I think he has a really nice rifle with an older door on it. But anyway, okay, enough of that. Yeah, it was a model of the The 1878 is actually 1873 die that's malfunctioned, and it's on the very last run that they marked that way. So from 1879 to 1882, I believe, or something like that. I can't remember exactly. Let's see. Yeah, he said it was an 1887 dated number on there, as I recall. Let's see. Strategically tab switching. Oh, gotcha, Sheldon. That's how you're here. Franklin Horse said blue pill. But if it was, it couldn't be an 1873 and have dated one like you're saying there, Todd B, and have all the features that he had, or unless it was a star marked gun that had the receiver changed on it. And I don't believe it was that. So anyway, yeah, I enjoyed that video. You had any videos you watched here lately, Duke, that you've got a kick out of? You want to this?
Not really. I've just been watching Denny over at Springfield Leather. They're doing a saddle build series. And Bings, I found a saddle tree on eBay for $100. No, it wasn't even that. It was like $70 today. Maybe doing a saddle build here before too long. Find out how fast I can get in over my head. So that's the only interesting videos I've been watching.
Well, at least what are they building? What kind?
He's just building a modern saddle, and that's the tree I bought. It's one of those that's got the real wide cantle. It's not a bear trap, but it's got a wider pommel on it, not a cantle, wider pommel. And so I thought I'd buy that. And I thought, what the heck? I might try to build a saddle and see if I can make a little extra money. Thing of it is that the leather alone, oh man, that's going to be an expensive saddle.
You're not supposed to say that right off the bat. You're supposed to get somebody to commit to it.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to take $500 worth of leather just put together. Now, the tree, I only bought the tree for 100 some odd bucks, but hopefully Duke's going to start saddle building while not having gone to proper saddle school. So it may be the god-awfulest saddle anybody's ever rode, or it might be the best one that somebody's ever rode. I don't know.
You're going to have to raffle the first one off, huh?
Well, I'll sell it to you, and then you can tell me if it was worth a darn.
Well, you're going to sell it to me? I got to get a gun horse. I haven't had a gun horse in over a year. Let's see.
You can train a gun horse.
Oh, I know. I know how to do it. It's just a matter of finding that many hours in a day.
Just stand on his back and start shooting, and eventually he'll
stand on his back.
Well, sit on his back, start shooting. Eventually, he'll quit bucking. He might go deaf, but
yeah. Well, actually, a couple of guys I know, they'll ride them down into a real boggy, sandy part of the river, get them kind of bogged down, and then shoot off of them. But the guys I know that are really good, they just start with 20. They'll start with cracking a whip, a small whip, bucket whip, and then move up to a BB gun. And I
was watching one of the gals that does cowboy action shooting, and they just take their 45 Colt blanks and they just start out with just primers, and then just slowly work up to full power loads.
And the horse has to be born with it. It's kind of like a gun-shy dog. There's certain horses you just will never train. They got to have it in them. And I've noticed that any horse that really makes, in my world, any horse, if it makes a good cow horse, they don't like guns at all because they're too alert. They know what's going on too much.
Yeah, you got to be.
Yeah, Doug Duke said you can shoot off any horse once. What was that Jerry Clower story? Can I shoot off of him? Yeah, well, he threw me off. Well, I said you could shoot off of him. I didn't say you could shoot on him.
I guess I missed that one.
Todd B said, I noticed the 1884 Buffington sight on it. Yeah, it did have the barrel and action, and the barrel and the stock and everything was off of an 1887 gun. It was just the door that was a little too early. Very common for a lot of those National Guard unit guns and stuff. Everything Black Powder said. Sorry, guys, I'm going to cough wheat dust all day. Howdy, boys. I'm a day late and $1 short as usual. Well, howdy. Hardy said, hello, you silly humans. Alpine Gulch said, "Howdy, do you know about the trail days this week in Wyoming?" I know, but I'm sure Duke does.
You mean Frontier Days? Yeah, I thought it was last week. It wasn't. It was this week.
Oh, that's Cheyenne Rodeo, isn't it?
Yeah, Cheyenne Frontier Days.
Yeah. Haven't heard that in a long time. That was a big deal. On the whole county. The whole county down here used to pack up this week and go to Cheyenne. You know, back in the 80s and 90s when it was still that big.
Yeah.
Old Lane Frost dying kind of put an end to it. I don't think many people went after that from down here. Let's see. Doug Duke said you can shoot off any horse once. Any horse's gun broke at least once. Yeah. Have you seen the old saddles in the pawn shop in Cheyenne? Tons of them.
Lots of old saddles.
Well, what was that? Was that in Lingle where you and I went in that shop where there was?
Yeah, they had a couple Minyas.
Yeah. Every saddle that I rode that was a good saddle was made in Torrington by the Shymans. They're Shyman saddles. People from down here. That was one of the reasons they'd go up there. They'd bring back a bunch of Shyman saddles and then sell them.
Profiteering.
They were. They really were. They get really good saddles. I know people today that are given $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 for good condition Shymans because they haven't been made in a long time. Still wanting to ride them. A good rough out Shyman.
Well, you know, there's one that hasn't been made in a long time. It's called the Fraser saddle, and when I learn how to do saddles, they'll be made again.
Yeah. Now, is that the same Fraser Leather Works that did the Fraser cartridge boxes and stuff for the Army?
No, because that's a different spelling. No, R.T. Fraser, he started late 1800s up in Denver. He worked for Heiser Saddle Company, Heiser Saddlery. Then he moved to Pueblo, and he started making saddles and gun leather and chap leather and lots of other stuff. But thing of it is, I looked into it. Him and I are not related. Been cool if we were.
There's a lot of you Frasers around, though, that...
And it's actually kind of rare to find it with the same spelling as what I have. And they're pretty much the same group that come over. So
I was reading about some Blue Ridge Frasers, and they were spelled the same as you.
Yeah.
In West Virginia. I don't know if they were you guys, but they were spelled the same.
That's because there's a lot of Frasers in Virginia and South Carolina, and that's kind of where my family started out at in the 1700s.
Gray Pilgrim says, Garrett, Duke, nice to see you. Good to see you too, Pilgrim. One of these days I want to get up there and visit you. I just ain't figured out when or how yet. Might be a year or two. Let's see. Alpine Gulch said it was called Trail Days in Pine Bluffs from the old Texas Trail Museum here.
Oh, that one. Okay. No, I don't know anything about that one.
Not that familiar. Speaking of saddle, what's you and Duke's opinion on Mexican saddles? Curious.
Well, if they fit a horse and comfortable to sit in, they're all right.
Yeah, I was really fond of that Santa Fe style saddle that Henry had out there.
Yeah, that's kind of what my Western saddle will be when I finally get enough money saved up to build my own just for me.
Yeah, I got a lot of them old Mother Hubbards around.
Yeah, I've thought about that too. I'm either going to go with a Hope or I'm going to go with a Mother Hubbard tree.
Okay. Did people like the Kevin Costner movie? Part 2 comes out this month. I've heard they delayed Part 2 because I liked Part 1 a lot, and it was really, really good. But they said that it failed in theaters, so they put it out on streaming. And it instantly became the #1 movie for streaming for like 3 weeks straight. So the crowd was there. They just weren't wanting to go spend that much time sitting in a theater, I guess.
$30 million loss just on the theaters. Or $20 million loss.
But I think he's getting it back in streaming buys because it's $21 to buy it for streaming, and a lot of people have bought it. And evidently it was enough that they went ahead and picked up Part 3. So
I'm not a big enough of a Costner fan to pay that much for it, so I'll do like I did with Butcher's Crossing. I'll wait till it goes on sale for like $10 and then I'll buy it.
If you're and I have to be careful because after all these years of meeting and talking to historical, interpreters and reenactors and all these years I've spent studying firearms, I realize I'm the pickiest, and I didn't mind it. As far as firearms, I'm pickiest. Duke's pickier than I am when it comes to clothes. So, and it had some things that were absolutely wrong. You had a lot of cartridge conversions. It's in 1863. But when I thought about it, I realized that Costner had bought all that with his own money, and the bulk of the series is going to be set in the early 1870s. So my feeling is he bought those guns, and they just are going to carry through the whole thing, which will be fine. 1870s, those guns will be perfect. Even 1880s, those guns will be perfect that he has. So we can get past this first little hiccup where they're a little too early. But at least they're not using 73 single actions, and there is not a single iron framed, Winchester style rifle in there. So a lot of Smith carbines. Well, and if it happens in the 1870s, it'll be fine. But a lot of Smith carbines, a lot of 66 or not 66s, but a lot of Henrys, and guns like a lot of Spencers. And I'm not going to pick on it too much because I really enjoyed it. I was telling Plowboy that one of the greatest things about it is, and no spoilers, but a lot of times in westerns when the good guy has to kill somebody and he hasn't done it before or something, it's like this big emotional ride. Not with Costner. It was, we're going to get it done. We're going to go on with life. And I really enjoyed that. Okay. All right. Duke, have you made any 18th century possibles bags? Diane Houston asked.
One. I don't even know where it's at. I was going to make one out of deer skin, but I got 20 some odd deer hides in my freezer that need to be tanned.
Noah and I have been making so many of them. He ran out of. I think he had 3 sides of leather and he ran out. If you want to make one, to get you some leather, and not you, but anybody out there, and it's very small, but I Love Muzzle Loading has the links to a pattern for what they call the Hawken era muzzleloader pouch, and it's not big; it's like a little pouch. But that's what I use for my little stuff, and then I had Noah make me a deeper one for smooth bores. I made one out of corduroy recently, and I've been using it a lot, but it's more of a haversack. You have made them, though, Duke, in the past.
Yeah. I made one.
You've made horns and bags, and
I made horns in one bag is all I've made.
Need to get Noah to make me a shot snake.
That'd be fun.
Except for the correct end cost $80.
Might as well just buy the shot snake.
That's what I was thinking. I seen the bag on Track of the Wolf with the traditional bag with Irish shot snakes, $250 for a good one.
Yeah. That October Country muzzleloading, they make really good stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I like their stuff.
I haven't actually seen that. I'll have to check it out.
The powder or the puffle bag that I carried for years, I still have it and I still use it. It was an October Country and I've beat the heck out of it. Excuse me. Yeah, it's still going strong.
Franklin Horse said something came up. I don't know what. Yeah, it's probably talking about Sheldon or Salvador. Gray Pilgrim said, I don't know much about saddles, but my cousin repaired them. I was always drafted to hold it while he stitched them up. Yeah, I've been watching Woodland Escape, how he makes that, what he calls the leather horse. Have you seen those? It's got the 2 foot pegs that go forward and it pinches the leather in and he says it. That's a pretty cool looking deal.
Right here.
Yeah, except for his has a clamp on it that you set on it like a rocking horse, and you.
Oh, that's more for like a spoke shave stand.
Well, he was using it to sew heavy duty leather buffalo hide and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen him use them.
Like it worked pretty good.
Yeah, we had one of those down there at Fort. We'd use it for making shingles and shaving down wagon wheel spokes and basically just a wood clamp so you can sit there with both your hands and run a draw knife.
Yeah. So you were making shakes,
Always making all kinds of things.
shingles. You guys put wood shingles on still?
No, we was just doing it to be doing it just to see if we could.
I see.
Yeah, no, there's no wood shingles down there. We just did that one day just to see if we could do it. And then we turned it into kindling.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of those old saddles, Alpine Gulch, a lot of them are rotting away. But I've taken some pretty old nasty saddles in and had them rebuilt. And a lot of times it's definitely cheaper than buying a new one. Let's see. Gray Pilgrim said El Paso saddle makers. Sabater said make a native saddle. Doesn't look comfy though. You want that? Duke needs to make that female one with the high rise. Gray Pilgrim said, yeah, nobody. That's the trouble. Nobody. And I heard a lot of teenagers and people complaining that it wasn't as fast paced as a superhero movie. It's paced like an old John Ford movie. So I can go right with that. Doesn't bother me one little bit. Yeah, you can make popcorn. Yeah. Well, there weren't many kids, President-elect James. There weren't many kids at that one. Victor Schultz says hello. Let's see, U.S. Billy the Kid series on MGM has lots of 1866 Winchesters. Well, they were still pretty popular in the 1880s. Ooh, very nice.
I bought this one when I first went to Fort Laramie. I've had it a couple of years. This one was made in 1990, and the rawhide has split a few other areas, but it's a double wrapped rawhide.
That one looks fairly Roper familiar.
It's what?
Looks pretty Roper familiar.
Yeah, they call this one Cahill Roper.
Yeah, it'd have a hard time holding those front pommel holsters probably.
Yeah, I got it because in the pictures they showed a Hope.
You wound up with a Roper.
When it arrived, it was a Roper, but it's not got as wide a pommel on it. But
the thing is,
a lot wider.
If you made that into a good modern saddle, you could buy enough stuff to build you 2 Hope saddles. Because they pay a good custom-made saddle these days will bring you a lot more than the reenactor community will pay for them.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Is I'm thinking about tooling this one up. I just need to figure out what to do about this.
It's a
I think
16?
I can glue over it. Yeah, it's a 16.
Yeah, that's a good size. You sell that all
The other one I ordered is a 15.
I ride a 15, but all the other people that ride around me ride 16s.
I say something, but I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
You'll be back. Okay. William Schlosser says hello, everyone. Gray Pilgrim said 1880s cap and ball stuff was still used in the Southwest into the 1970s. I've seen some rough examples when I lived in New Mexico. Yeah, I have a record of one of the shootouts that happened literally right outside of my house on the road out there. And the guy was shot with a 36 caliber ball. And it killed him, and one of those balls lodged, got in his brother's spine, shot 2 directions, and crippled him. So them 36 caliber ball, probably from a 49 pocket model, the way the gun was described, they said it fit in a pocket. So it was some young cowboy that was gambling and drinking in right over there, right across from me in the old bar. And that was in 1887, and he got to roughing it around with the saloon owner there. They called it the Whiskey House. And he pulled that gun out and put it on the table. Well, the owner took it from him and stuck it in his pocket. Turned around to walk out the door. Well, the kid reached around and grabbed it out of his pocket. They knew it was going down, so one brother ran that way and one brother ran that way. And the kid stepped out on the street, shot that one, killed him, put the gun over here, turned around, shot that one, and crippled him. So his name was Greener Adams was the one that survived, and I think Robert Adams was the one that didn't. He's buried up on the hill behind me. So, yeah, they were definitely still in use. Let's see. Franklin Horse said, I'm still looking for the Frazier Mummy gun roll.
Oh, yeah. We've talked about that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. We had that discussion about the gun roll from the movie The Mummy. Where he's got the takedown.
Oh, the blanket-looking thing he unrolls out there. And the two Chamelot Delvines or whatever he has.
Yeah, and I thought about it, but I'm going to have to get a sewing machine before that ever happens because hand stitching that, it would take forever.
Brendan Fraser, the other Fraser, not the
the other Fraser. Well, it's actually Brendan Fraser is how
Fraser.
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 Sure. With a Z.
Gray Pilgrim said, in the backwoods of New Mexico, you can see a lot of interesting things. If you hablo español, yeah.
Tu hablo español muy malo.
My wife is fluent. I am not.
I better watch what you say. I might make her mad.
Yeah. It's funny because most of my in-laws don't speak English, I don't think. Let's see. Great. Has anyone watched Jersey Red said, howdy, Duke and Garrett. Hi. JB said, has anyone watched the Bass Reeves series? I have not.
No, because anything related to 1883 and Yellowstone is complete hogwash.
Oh, Bass Reeves series is related to that?
Yeah, it's a spinoff.
I see. Yeah, I didn't get through 1883 either. What's funny is, like, Horizon, I felt right at home with it. Just some reason, 1883 just couldn't. It was so.
It was bull.
Yeah, it was trying to be historical accurate Western, but at the same time, it had too much Silverado in it to do that. Go pick a lane.
Yeah.
Pick a lane. Let's see. Good evening, y'all. Sorry I missed the last stream. What happened to the video out of curiosity?
Well, that's one that will never be seen.
It got disappeared at the very end due to outside influence. None of ours. It got pretty wild.
Let's just say Duke got pretty hot. And the PG filter was out the door. We were approaching X.
We got ran over by almost 100 trolls that come in with a bunch of racist comments and then started reporting us for racism.
Yeah.
I was having fun for a little while, but Duke didn't enjoy it one little bit. Oop. Look who's here.
Hey, Saboteur. Now we're culturally inclusive again.
Like I said, you just had to pull out that tribal ID, dude.
Oh, let's see. A couple more things here. Gray Pilgrim said, last I rode a horse was almost 60 years ago. Mileage Manages says, debating on getting a Pieta 1860 Army or a Uberti second model Dragoon?
Army.
Depending on what you want to do with it. I'd say Uberti 1860 Army, but that's just me.
Yeah, I go with that. Well, it depends on what you use. If you plan on shooting it a lot, go with Pieta. If you want to have it pretty, go with Uberti.
Okay. Snapper's on his way. Let's see. But the second model Dragoon's cool, if that's what you want. Obviously, you're not going to carry it a lot, hopefully.
Oh, I was watching CN Arsenal's video on the Dragoon, and they bring up, you don't really want to carry the Dragoons like in a holster.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not saying people didn't do it.
Oh, it's definitely done. It just wasn't
because, was it? I mean, it could have been just for a prop, but was it Rip Ford? His picture, he has two of them on his belt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I carried one up there last year at Fort Laramie for that one event.
Yeah, I've seen that. You showed me it.
Yeah.
Big iron.
They're harder to carry on modern clothes than they are original clothes because original clothes generally come with braces.
Yeah.
So, you may pull your belt down, but it doesn't pull your pants down.
Oh, that's the reason why they wore all those clothes back then.
Yeah, so that's exactly why. Oh, Alpine Gulch, where are you two located? I think we said that already.
Well, I'm here and he's there, and Sheldon's somewhere halfway in between.
Yup. Let's see.
Here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, Doug Duke said he agrees with Gray Pilgrim. Get both of them. Yeah, there you go. Eventually you will anyway. If you like one, you're going to wind up with the other.
Yeah.
It's a never-ending cycle once you get into it. Okay, so like I said, Snapper's coming, so we might have a full house here in just a little bit. Greg Pilgrim said, I know Spanish, but what I know is not modern. Northern New Mexico speaks a weird, older version. I can bar you to tears on that subject. JB said, I didn't know that. I couldn't make it through one episode of 1883. I don't know what it was. I love Sam Elliott, but Caleb had a point. He can't get off of his horse and get up the porch. He's not going to make it to Oregon. But he did, I guess. Have you seen the trailer for the Wyatt? Travis Lynn asked. Hi, Travis. Have you seen the trailer for the Wyatt Earp series on Netflix? I haven't actually.
No.
I don't have Netflix.
Yeah, me neither. IWS Bull 1 said, howdy all. Miles Manages says both it is. Let's see. Hardy said, I couldn't get over the mother's Botox and makeup face and haircut in 1883. It's really hard to not wear makeup and put your hair in a... Is it really that hard to not wear makeup and put your hair in a bun? Well, if you're Faith Hill, it is.
Think of it like this. If she looked that bad in makeup, just imagine what she looks like when she takes it off.
You know how they fixed that show? Almost. A lot of things need to be fixed. Call it 1863.
Heading up the Bozeman Trail.
Yep, and a whole lot of things get fixed just by that. But I'm sure that would retcon some Yellowstone stuff or something. Let's see. They're speaking Spanish. Chris Klein says, hello, all. JB said, I saw the singer from Metallica is going to be in a Western soon. That should be entertaining. Bad Tortilla said, I went to Mura and I couldn't believe it. Great grouse up there, though. Great to meet you, Pilgrim. Okay, he's talking to Pilgrim. Old one guy said, hi. Hi, guys. Great Pilgrim said, I used to hang out. And there's a lot of Spanish words in that, Pilgrim. I can't say. By the way, see one movie, The Beanfield War, 1980s, but it's great. Kodak Tackman said a pretty pup. Oh, did your dog walk by?
Yeah, no, she got up. She had to love on me. And then I look over and the other one's chewing on the frickin' saddle.
Oh, Doug Duke said, so after seeing some of the junk that's in the Olympics, I'll say that, but I would vote to put Pow Wow in Olympics. How about you, Sheldon? Native dancing in the Olympics?
Not sure.
That hurts me. That hurts me bad because
I mean, it would be a better opener than what they had.
no kidding, it would.
You could have mounted scalping competitions.
With the French in France, that'd be perfect.
Shit, the
have
French and any other Europeans would probably see the natives and start talking to them in their native languages, and the natives would be looking at like, huh?
like timed pee-pee competitions.
They'll probably beat us in that too.
Well, that hurts me because have any of you guys seen the mini series from the 80s, First Olympics, Athens, 1896? That is,
nope.
Oh, it's excellent. I watched that when I was 7, 8 years old. and Dr. Sloan, W.M. Sloan, is played in there. He's played by the guy who played what's his name? He was the rich doctor in MASH. Can't think, but he played an excellent character there. And as
Oliver
a little
Winchester?
kid, yeah. I think his name's Lewis something. I can't remember. But in that miniseries, it is 1896, and it is so historically accurate to the first time they go back and do modern Olympics. And he sits down and he tells the most riveting story of the first marathon of the run to Athens. And as a little kid, I was mesmerized by that. 25 miles, full body armor to deliver the story of the victory, dies with a smile on his lips in the streets. And ever since then, I was wrapped up in Olympics. And then, as I remember, about 96, I got to see the real Olympics now. And I was like, where's all the suits and the 1890s clothes and the mustaches? It just didn't look right. They weren't as gentlemanly. But yeah, that really hurts me to see the Olympics go that far downhill. So yeah, if you guys want to watch some good Olympics, go back. It's free on YouTube right now. First Olympics, Athens, 1896.
If you hear some background noise, I wandered outside because it is too hot in the building.
You guys remember that period where it's like Son of the Morning Star, Lonesome Dove, Gods and Generals, Gettysburg. These miniseries were so great in that period. Why is that? Because you think there was more reenactors involved in them, Duke?
Maybe.
Or maybe you disagree. Maybe you don't think the series were that good.
No, they were good, and there were definitely more reenactors in it. Because it's like I've talked with my buddy Sam. My buddy Sam did a lot of movies. He was not in Son of the Morning Star, but he's in a lot of movies. I've seen him. He was in the one Crazy Horse, which is not, you can't watch it anywhere. But it was it was better.
Yeah, I like the story where he said they killed him like 3 different times at the Fetterman fight.
Is that the one where the Fetterman fights takes place in July?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've seen pieces of that.
Yeah. And it's got Wes Studi in it, plays Wes Studi plays Red Cloud. But Sam's in there because, like, when they have the Grattan fight, Sam's one of the soldiers that's in that because he said their hats, they couldn't find the little blue pom-poms. They're supposed to be on the top of the hat. So they went and got styrofoam balls and painted them blue and just put them on a toothpick and stuck them in the top of the hat. But he died at the Grattan fight, and then he died at the Fetterman fight, and then he died at the Little Bighorn, all in that Crazy Horse movie. And there was one part of them where they had to lay there and play dead. And so this gal come up, and he had his uniform on. She was going to start squirting blood all over him, and he's like, no, man, just put one little dot right there. I don't want to get blood all over, because he just bought this uniform. And he said he laid down there and he went to sleep, and the director come up and said he was the best actor for a dead person. He said, hell, I was asleep the whole time.
Pilgrim said, I grew up about 5 miles from where it was filmed in the, what is that, Jemez Mountains? Something like that? Jemez. Well, if you're talking about the first Olympic series, man, that'd be cool. Robert Garrett, Blake Connolly. Oh, those are good characters. I sat down the other day, I was watching with my wife. I said, it's been 30 years since I've seen this almost, but I remember them all. Every character. Let's see. I'm still amazed nobody has made an Oregon Trail movie, said Hardy. With as many as us who played the computer game, it would sell just on nostalgia.
They did. It's called Into the West.
What's the one with not Kurt Russell, Kirk Douglas and
Centennial?
No, Kirk Douglas.
The Way West.
The Way West. Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I
I've
like
got
that
the
one.
book. I found the book. I was going to sit down and read that one of these days.
Who told us one day that there was a prequel to that was famous? Not who told us, but what was the prequel to that?
There's a
because they-
prequel because Kirk Douglas plays.
Yeah.
character
Oh,
Mitch-
Big Sky.
Big Sky
Yeah.
is the prequel to The Way West.
Yeah, I did not know that. Somebody, I think Doug Dukes might have told us that. Doug Dukes said, Olympics, they have break dance. I prefer native dancing.
Say that down.
JB asks, what's your all thoughts on the sudden frequency in the two gun belts? On the sudden frequency in the two gun belts with both being right-handed. Wouldn't a
Two gun
left-handed
belt?
holster be fairly present due to surplus of holsters being left-handed for a twist draw?
I know what you're talking about, but I've only can remember seeing it once.
He's talking about more modern frequency, I think, in movies and stuff.
Well, historically, I've only seen it once. But what you see often, a lot of times, you have the pistol belt that's got its own cartridges, and then especially with buffalo hunters, then they've got another cartridge belt above that with the sharps cartridges.
Yeah. I like it because I like cross draw, and if you're right-handed, it's probably better to carry a cross draw and a straight up and down if you want two guns, in my opinion. Let's see. This
You know,
Cowboys.
my
ahead.
grandpa Adolf Buber. He was in that movie Centennial
Mm-hmm.
back in the late 50s, early 60s. Or when I think I got the movie wrong. But anyway, he says there's one scene. I don't know if it was a Little Bighorn. I never seen the movie, where there's a bunch of Indians and they're gonna ride towards the Calvi or whatever. And he said behind the scenes it was the director or whoever said whoever falls off their horse first gets an extra $50, and $50 back in 59, 60 was probably a lot of money.
And
So it says-
reenactors, nobody wants to die.
So it said there's about 100 Indians or more, all looking good on the horses, war paint. Director says, action, they all charge. One gunshot went off and everyone did it.
Shot heard around the world. The whole charge went down.
So he said that's how the West was won. One bullet took out the entire Sioux Nation.
Just think what if Fetterman would have done.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, this Cowboys ride just got in the house. First time watching y'all live. Well, welcome.
All right.
Kodak Tackman, you fellas ever learned the Paul Anderson Olympic story and testimony? Oh yes, I'm well versed in Paul Anderson, strongest man in the world. He did that Olympic lift in running 103-degree fever. Yeah, he used to put a carousel on his back. He was something else. Pick up cars and whatnot. Yeah, he's kind of a legend, especially for local Christians and churches around here. Diane Houston said, why was last week's Tales of the Trails taken down? Well, we explained it earlier. We got overrun by trolls at the end.
And Duke lost his temper.
And Sheldon didn't stop him.
There was more explicitives than Garrett's mom would have let me get away with.
I was having fun. Duke was not.
It was fun for about the first 5 minutes, and then it was just outright annoying.
Yeah.
Chris Klein, has anyone watched Horizon? What are your thoughts? If you want, I gave a pretty deep detail of my thoughts back at the beginning of this series, but I liked this video, but I liked it. I like it if you're used to watching John Ford paced westerns and slower paced, you'll be perfectly fine. They worked really hard to be historically accurate in a lot of ways, but they did mess up by having cartridge conversions in 1863. But I will forgive that because they didn't have Winchester 73s or Colt 1873s. So, that's a step in the right direction. And it certainly wasn't Comancheros where they had an 1892 and 1841. 48.
So you're telling me Hell on Wheels lied to me with the cavalry having 66 Winchesters and 65?
I don't think that could work, no. But my question is, was the cavalry at the time armed by the railroad in 1866?
Doubt that.
Because
Well,
my excuse to that was Mr. What's his name? The main railroad guy. Why can I not think of his name?
Duran.
Yeah. He could arm his guys with whatever he wanted right off the bat.
Yeah, but 65 or 66, I think go on south of 67.
All you got to do is go on
Oh,
YouTube,
yeah. I forgot that.
look up the behind the scenes where they talk with the armorer for that TV show, and you know why everything's all screwed up.
The
The
blunderbuss.
100,000 Griswold and Gunnisons that were made for the south.
44 caliber to take
He's
your hand
sitting
clean
there
off.
holding a Kentucky Traditions Kentucky blunderbuss cap lock. This is an 1880s blunderbuss.
I had forgot that they had
What?
66s and 65 on there.
By
Yeah.
1880s, then the British Navy was using the Martini Henrys.
Well, I think he also called a trapdoor a flintlock too. So
Yeah. They got better. They got better as the seasons went on for the main characters. Now there is, especially in the last season, I don't know, there's thousands of brass frame Colts in that series. But about the time that he went from he went to a Remington revolver, which was fine, and they started packing around that really long double barrel 12 gauge. Elam, man, it's been so long, I can't remember their names. Elam did. That I liked. But yeah, right off the bat, I was like, I'm glad they're trying to go for the diversity in the guns, but they kind of failed there.
I mean, it's like in that show, I understand Winchesters are and lever actions are what people think of when they think of the Old West. But everyone either had a Henry or a Winchester.
Yep. Now, I remembered the 66s showing up in a couple seasons in, like when it was supposed to be 1866, I thought. But like you said, they weren't.
Get a bunch of them towards the last couple seasons there.
Like you said, they weren't available till 67. So,
I think the first season, he goes there's a few 66s in the first season that takes place in 65.
yeah. Because he aims over the saddle at the old boy that he's trying to kill that he never does find. That still gripes me all the way through the whole series. He never finds that guy. The last of the ones.
Did they get the 66s before or after they get to Cheyenne?
Well, like he's saying,
Before.
in 65, when Bohannon first gets to the railroad, he has a 66 that he leans over the saddle because he's going to shoot the last guy that killed his wife. And he doesn't shoot him. And then we never hear about the last guy that killed his wife again through the whole rest of the series.
I think because he gave up on it.
It fell off the face of the earth.
I think in season 2, they managed to get a bunch of Lakota, a bunch of beat up 66s, even though they should have been brand new.
Oh, I love it. Oh, we was at that place called, what was it he called it? He called it Antietam, and he called it the other name. Yeah, we gave them Rebs a good fight that day. Yeah, we fought till we was out of ammo. Bodies of the Union were stacked so deep you could walk across them. We ran out of ammo and left. That must have been about the time you showed up.
That was pretty good.
Oh, I love that. Oh, he had some good lines in there. They can't
when
make
they
that
fight
today.
Nah, probably. I think they could.
You think they could make a Confederate-centered hero today?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, look, they went to Wyoming to find Comanches.
Yeah. That is kind of funny to think about.
Even though I think majority of that should have been at least maybe Pawnee in the beginning, maybe, and then Lakota and mix of Cheyenne and Arapaho towards the end for the rest of the series.
Yeah, they hit the Cheyenne pretty early, and then they hit the Yankton Sioux. That's like you should have hit the Yankton Sioux first, and then the Cheyenne.
Was a bloody day in Kansas.
I don't know. Duke could dress up like that.
Well, he could dress up
that mountain man with the Henry and Two squad, Jimmy. There you go.
Hey, you got me on Bohannon now. The preacher.
I think I could do a better job being the guy in the bear suit. And, what the heck is that movie? The True Grit.
True Grit.
I got my bear skin.
Got his teeth. I will take $2 for his teeth. Minus his teeth. I don't know. I think you'd make an excellent. I think you'd make an excellent Bohannon myself.
I could
You got
probably
that.
pull it too.
Anson Mount look. I just though that scene, I use it all the time. People hate it when they see my Confederate flag. It was a bloody day in Kansas for those slave owners. I was a slave owner. It's lucky for you. You weren't in Kansas that night. No, preacher. It's lucky for you. Wish I was in the land of cotton.
Cotton. Old times they are not forgotten. Look away.
John Brown's dead.
Look away.
John Brown's dead.
What would you guys think of a show like Hell on Wheels? You know, with a Confederate, protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
But he was, and this is just me because of but one of the natives that fought for the Confederacy.
Stan Waddy. A Stan Waddy show would be, and the only time they've ever attempted it was Outlaw Josie Wells, and that version of Stan Waddy's a joke.
What they ought to do is make a movie, if you wanted to do it, make a movie about the Bent brothers.
Oh yeah,
George Bent, brother George Bent, not William Bent's brother, but the William Bent's son, George.
Yeah.
He was a Confederate artilleryman. And that's why he wound up back at Sand Creek, is because he got paroled back home because his brother Robert bought his parole. That'd be a perfect movie right there. Because George organized a lot of the things that were taking place in 1865, the Sand Creek Avengers.
JB said it was so bad the Griswold was the 44 Magnum of the 1880s. and he said as many
took my hand off.
Yeah. As many issues as I had with it, that show was so funny. Yeah, that's why I can forgive that one. Well, I'm a little biased towards Bohannon myself. But I can forgive that one because they go into it like you feel like this is a 1950s revenge story. It's not, it's not like we're trying to set up this historical sweeping epic, which some of it was pretty historically sweeping and epic, but I like it. I like it a lot. Plowboy every now and then still he would send a quote.
The only thing I wish is the guy that is the first boss of Bohannon that gets killed in the first episode. I wish they would have kept him on for a few more episodes.
Yeah, it would have been interesting. It would have been.
Could have had a perfect scene of him out there with the work crew saying, "It puts the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the whip again."
I don't know if you can get a better bad guy character than the Swede was in the first few seasons before he went way off the deep end.
Just couldn't make them numbers add up.
Oh. My favorite scene is the one where the Indian races the train. I don't know why, but that should be a painting with that black smoke blowing and him trying to outrun that. I love that scene. That was good. Yeah. Kind of didn't work out, but it was a good scene. Oh, let's see. Where can I send you a picture, Garrett? Well, I'll tell you what. You send it to Ethan. Go to 11 Bang Bang channel, and there. If you go over to the 11 Bang Bang channel in the About section, there's an email address that's just for that kind of thing. It's just a channel email, and I can see it hopefully if I ask Ethan. Let's see. Let's go back up here. Jake was still talking about the Olympics. He said, "I'll vote for the mounted scalping competition." Kodak Tackman said, "I second Jake." And Louisiana Gray said, "Now that'd be something interesting, Olympics." Hardy said, "So, Springfield trapdoor loaded with grape shot. I approve." There was such a thing. Pistol. There was 3 of them. They thought they would replace cap and ball pistol with single shot trapdoor pistols. It worked for about. I think they went to test them and nobody showed up to test them because they knew it was a bad idea. But Sherman thought it was a great idea. A bored out 20 gauge buckshot pistol for the cavalry. And they were like, "We have these Smith and Wessons. I think we'll stick with those." Those are 1868 pistols. JB said, "Give me 80 men and $600, and I'll ride through the entire Indian Nation." I've never heard the $600 part. Hardy said, "Go the big Jake route. It was a pre-production model. Our family owned some stock." There you go. That's how you get away with the 66 and 65. Bergman, model of 1911. It's only 1910, Michael. Can you quote that one, dear?
Well, I have to think about it for a minute, but
Can you shoot proficiently, Father?
well, as many times as they can hit the ground, like maybe once.
You were supposed to shoot, Michael. With this? I ain't coming out till you tell me I can shoot back. When I meant proficiently, Father, I meant with this. Son, about 500 yards right down the bridge of my nose, there's an old bucket. Too late. He's gone. Would you like to try, Father? I can't even see, Father. And I'm like, you saw the deer. Okay, we better not start quoting that. It'll never end. Okay. Actually, I
wanted to say something about remember last week I said my 2nd gen Colt 60 Army couldn't fit Johnston and Dallas?
Mm-hmm.
It does. It just didn't like the paper cartridges.
Was the paper hanging up on that lip in there?
I think so.
I never could get in paper cartridges to work in mine. You got to modify them. Mike Bellevue's got a video on it, but I didn't want to mess up my gun.
Well, them
I
second
mean, if
gens,
it fits, it's just a cylinder.
the second gens you shouldn't have to modify.
No, it fits pretty good.
Piettas you got to modify a lot, especially if you're using that in a 36, trying to use that Richmond Labs 390. Have you shot those? Didn't you do? You didn't do the Richmond Labs.
Yeah, I shot the Richmond Labs.
Could you get them in a Pietta? I could not load them in a Pietta.
I don't have a 36 Pietta.
Okay, I could get them in a Uberti, but not a Pietta. Did you try the Colt Cartridge Works?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Jake was asking me about that if he's still out there. What do you think of the Colt Cartridge Works?
That was one of the best shooting little bullets I've had through that 51 Navy. It's one of the most accurate bullets I've had. And I just loose powder and ball.
I want to try that new one he has, that conical one for Navy. That it's like based off the bullet molds that used to come with them.
Oh yeah, the sugar loaf.
Picket or the sugar.
Yeah.
Not the Picket.
Yeah, I thought about it, but his molds have gotten, and that's not a knockdown. His molds have gone up in price because the cost of materials has gone up in price. But
there's a website that sells, he makes them, he molds the bullets or makes the bullets and he just sells them. I think he wants like 36 for 108, kind of odd number, but
yeah. Kodak.
And that's the way I do it, just because I just can't get into bullet molding.
It's a process. He said he loaded Richmond Lab conical on the Pietta 51, no problem. You can do it, but it cuts way too big of a ring unless your Pietta has bigger chambers than 90% of the Piettas I work with. Pietta uses a 375 usually. I have stopped. It's been so long since I think about it. What is it, Duke? 375 for Pietta, 37. I got to stop and think. Piettas have a slightly smaller chamber. And
yeah, I got a 376 and a Pietta. I got to have at least a 379 and a
Uberti.
8 and a Uberti.
And the Richmond Lab is a 390. And so I have not got it to work in anything. I bent loading levers trying to do it with dead soft lead. And maybe yours is an older Pietta or something that has a little different. But I've tried it in probably 5 of them and haven't had any luck. But it works great. It works good in Ubertis, and it is perfect in my originals. So they just have bigger chambers. Let's see. Kodak Tackman said, I was hoping it was 66 by the time I saw the 66 rifle. Talking about hell on wheels. Hardy said, haven't you heard anything with the side lock is a flintlock? I had to explain the difference to guys at work so many times. As many issues as it had, the show was fun. Kodak Tackman. Y'all right down there?
Yeah, my earbud fell out.
Let me see if I can fix my camera right quick. We'll see if that fixes it. Man, I got to get a new camera. Let's see. Cowboys Ride said, y'all should place your hat over your heart when you sing Dixie. Let's see. Doug Duke said, don't you know you can't tell the truth in movies, even if it's more exciting than the plot? The scenery was phenomenal, too. I myself have placed my hat over my heart, looking towards Stone Mountain Monument singing Dixie, Kodak Tackman says. JB said, reference to Saboteur. I think he's asking why your name's a Saboteur.
Yeah. Is he talking about the game?
I think, yeah. Oh, yeah, because you
Okay.
referenced it to, yeah. Josie Wales said, evening all, I finally made one. Cowboys Ride said, Eras. Kodak Tackman said, 2020 model. Well, I haven't actually had a newer than 2020 model, so maybe they've enlarged the chamber since then. This Cowboys Ride said, Eras Gone Bullet Mold has some hard-to-find bullet molds. Let's see. I have a Muleer side-lock percussion rifle, Carson says, with a custom 50 cal barrel, 44 and 1/4 inch long, and Pennsylvania style rifle. And we're caught up with the chat. That's a cool sounding rifle. Well, anyway, subject change. All right, guys. Favorite John Wayne Western? Since we're talking Big Jake.
Searchers.
Oh, that's a good one. What do you think, Sheldon? You got a favorite John Wayne?
I can't stand John Wayne movies.
Oh, jeez. He said that out loud. Cover your ears, chat.
I heard that one he did, that was it the Shootist, the one in Alaska. I heard that one's good, but I never watched it.
Oh no, that was North
to Alaska.
Oh, okay.
You got, if you've never watched The Searchers, you kind of have to watch that one at least.
I did just some about him. Like I tried to watch the original True Grit, and his over the top kind of cartoonish acting when he grabs that that pistol from Maddie. I was kind of like, kind of.
Well, I guess you weren't born to it then, because that's hard. I don't know. I never met a person like you. I don't know how to act.
Like I've watched a few older westerns, and the one I like is The Man from Laramie.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah. I remember a time back when I was in high school, TV Land was having a old western marathon, and I don't know, that little commercial stuck out to me, where I don't know what movie it was or what, but it shows a bunch of guys hold up and shows a lone Indian stand there. He says, "Come out, die." I was like, God dang, that's kind of cheesy.
Well, you kind of got to take the good with the bad.
I think I watched Comancheros, maybe. I was like,
that's not a good one for someone just starting out, and especially someone who likes history. You got to start with the Searchers or the Cowboys.
I like, I guess, maybe some of the, like, I would say like the spaghetti westerns and some of the 70s and on up westerns. The good ones, not the kind of bad ones you see. But the one like older western I like.
Yeah.
Is that one with Tom Selleck and I can't remember his name. They were like he's in 1883, you know, the old guy with the deep voice.
Oh, Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
The Sackets.
Yeah, that one. I like that one.
Packets are the Shadow Riders. Yeah, both of them are basically the same thing.
Mm.
Yeah. Hardy said, to be fair, Wayne's acting in True Grit could get pretty corny. Yes. but we'd never seen John Wayne act before.
Yeah, that
Like
was his
that.
first time he actually acted, and he wasn't playing John Wayne.
There's three extremes. There's John Wayne, the conservative, ultra cowboy, hard driven, doesn't do anything wrong, never messes it up, and he's the guy. That's him normally. Then there's extreme John Wayne, the slightly racist, gonna kill every Indian because they've hurt my family and me, searchers John Wayne, that's way off to this end. Then you have Rooster Cogburn way over here that's just goofy. Those are the three things he can play, and he doesn't play anything else.
But my overall favorite John Wayne movie is not a Western.
Okay, let me say. Wait. You're going to say Star Wars, aren't you?
No.
Because he was in that.
Yeah, it technically was.
Okay, let me get not the Green Berets.
Nope.
Okay, is it a war movie?
Not exactly, no.
The Quiet Man.
No.
Hang on. It's not Wings of Eagles.
Nope.
I'm reaching down because if it's not a war movie and it's not a Western, that only leaves a few more. Is it black and white or color?
It's in color.
Give me a decade.
It's set kind of in the 50s, 60s.
Atari.
That one's actually number 2.
Okay. Hellfighters.
Nope.
Set in the 50s or 60s or made in the 50s. I guess it would be.
Yeah.
Not a Western. It's not Atari. It's not Hellfighters. It's not a war movie. It's not Wings of Eagles. I'm running. Not a war movie. Kind of like Opie on Andy Griffith. You mean there's another kind? Okay. Give me one more hint, and then I'll let you go with it.
It takes place in the Pacific.
Oh, Donovan's Reef.
Yeah.
You should have said Christmas movie. I'd have got it.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, because Lee Marvin's a goofball. John Wayne's a goofball. That's a great movie.
Yeah, JB was guessing Brannigan or McHugh. Those could have been two.
I do like Brannigan.
I'll tell you a secret. There's 250 plus John Wayne movies that we know about. I've seen every one of them from The Hangman's House to The Shootist. I've never watched Brannigan, and I've kept it that way on purpose. One of these days, when I'm got older and kids and grandkids, I'm going to watch the last John Wayne movie I've never seen, and it's going to be Brannigan.
There's a great scene in there that I really love, and John Wayne kind of plays a goofball in parts of that too.
That's all right. I kind of like John Wayne goofball, but evidently Sheldon doesn't, so I guess we can change the subject now.
You got to watch Donovan's Reef, Sheldon. It's not a typical Western. It's a really good movie.
Okay, I'll check it out one of these days. I watch older movies. Maybe I'll watch it with my dad because he's really the only one I can watch those with.
Ree Desert Boy said Rio Lobo or War Wagon. Yeah, I like Rio Lobo too. I really like Rio Bravo. He liked that movie so much he made it 3 times.
Yeah.
And what's hilarious is Howard Hawks did that. Rio Lobo, El Dorado, Rio Bravo, El Dorado, Rio Lobo. All of them exact same storyline, but each one entertaining in its own way.
It's true.
So which of the 3 of those do you like best?
El Dorado.
El Dorado, yeah, right in the middle. Robert Mitchum, can't beat him. I do like Robert Mitchum better than Dean Martin as the same character.
I'm going to have to go for a little bit, but guys, I'll be back.
Okay. Hardy said was always more of a Humphrey Bogart fan. Well, that's cool too.
I was just going to ask him what he thought about Hanny Calder.
I've never actually watched that one all the way through.
Okay.
Is that the one with Burt Lancaster? No.
I think it has.
He's really old and the younger girl is.
I can't think of his name right now. I think he's in there. Christopher. He plays Saruman in Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, Christopher Lee. Dracula.
Yeah, thank you. I think he's in there. It's been a while since I watched it.
Yeah. JB has it, and everybody's giving out their names here. South Pacific, Donovan's Reef, Brannigan or McHugh, Rio Lobo, Wardwagon, Eldorado, McClintock. You guys have a lot of, you guys spread far and wide on the videos for John Wayne. He said the big trail's actually pretty good. Love the scenes of the massive amount of wagons. For me, the best Westerns that don't get old are the Gunsmoke series. Somebody said War Wagon. A couple of votes for that. That's cool. The Searchers, the Cowboys. Yes, yes. Kodak Tapman said, no, Salvador, no. Oh, man. So good question here by JB. Well, it's not a question, a statement. He said, I feel like we all kind of agree Unforgiven is Eastwood's best. It's pretty good, but would you say it's his best?
I like it.
What's your favorite Eastwood?
I don't think I have a favorite.
You don't like him either, huh?
I like his movies. I just
couldn't
don't.
Name one.
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't have to be a Western, I'd say Gran Torino.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Carson said his best was Paint Your Wagon. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if that's his best, but go ahead.
I'll wait to talk about when Luke's here, but
He may
yeah, I can just bring it up later. Or I'll bring it up now and tell him later. But if you guys like The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, there is like a South Korean film that's basically based off that story.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes place during the Japanese occupation in Japan, or of the Japanese occupation of Korea. And it's called The Good, the Bad, the Weird. And the quote unquote good, he has he's like, you know, your kind of typical cowboy. He has like a double action Colt Marlin, I think.
Yep.
The bad is he dresses like in pinstripe suit and has like, I think, Mausers or something. And the weird, he's just weird. There's a really good shootout scene in the middle of like a little town. It's a really good movie. And it basically is the same plot that all three of them are trying to find this location of a treasure.
Yep. That's interesting. I was thinking about that because I never was into the spaghetti westerns. The first Magnificent Seven, it was getting too spaghetti western for me. It's like it has that different look, and the gun sounds. Even as a younger guy, I couldn't get with the gun sounds. But I never understood everybody really liked the Dollars trilogy, which I mean I get why they do now, but it's like, and then you can turn around like 1 year later and come to America and make Outlaw Josie Wales, and the historian in me, or the guy that likes the slightly more historically accurate stuff, is like, man, why couldn't they have made that trilogy with this quality? You know, which I know why they couldn't. They didn't have a lot of money, and westerns were kind of dead at the time. But man, it was always so hard for me to get into that. After I grew up on Roy Rogers, you know, and John Wayne and the American westerns.
I watched westerns growing up, but like I said, a lot of the older stuff, even as a kid, I just like, besides Star Wars, if I knew it was older looking, I didn't like it.
Oh yeah, kind of like my wife. Black and white gives you a headache.
I don't mind black and white movies.
I love them. Not all of them, but I mean, I love them for the way they're shot. Some of them.
Yeah.
Let's see. Chris Bird said "Reap the Wild Wind." I think I got that one right. Yes, you did. One I found last weekend I didn't know about. That's a great movie because John Wayne, one of the few times he plays the bad guy. And he's really young, and it's in color in the 30s. And he plays a deep sea ocean scrapper. And basically if I remember right, what they're doing is they're either racing to scrap the ships or they're purposely sinking the ships to scrap them. But then in the end, he goes a good guy. In the end, he turns face, so to say. And he goes down with the boat and helps the other guy out. Because there's two of them like that. There's one other one that's the Wake of the Red Witch, where he's doing the same deep sea thing and gets killed by an octopus. But no, he goes down with the ship in the end and gets the other guy out. So, yeah, that Reap the Wild Wind. A lot of people haven't heard of that one. It's a very old, I want to say Cecil B. DeMille. But, yeah, it's a good show. And John Wayne playing the bad guy is completely a different swing. I
don't watch a lot of those really old movies. I think the oldest movie I've watched, Cabinet Dr. Caligari. It's like what 20s
Classics.
German horror film. Yeah,
You like that German expressionism?
that's pretty cool, interesting.
Nosferatu. I like that one. The 1920s Nosferatu. Yeah, that's the stuff I watch in October. What's funny is the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. They've made that movie 1,000 times over. Now it's just the Joker.
Yeah.
Same character, really. Let's see. The Good and the Bad and the Weird. That is not Josie Wells. It's classic. Yeah. Okay. That's what he was saying. It's a different deal.
I said it's based off of The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. It's just like a Korean version of it.
Mm-hmm. Just
pretty
like
good. You just need to check it out.
The Magnificent Seven is based on a Japanese
Seven Samurai.
Seven Samurai, yeah. Carson Branham said one of Clint's best for me was Kelly's Hero. It was an awesome movie. Weird. Desert Boy said weird but good. Once Upon a Time in the West. Yeah, it's all right. Soon with the AI, you'll be able to cast John Wayne in any role you want just for fun, and I can't wait to see him as James Bond or maybe Luke Scott. Oh, please don't do that. Let him be. Do not put him in a modern movie.
Can you imagine John Wayne trying to, probably be as good as Sean Connery, but trying to be James Bond?
No, yeah, I can see that to an extent, but it's gonna be like as soon as they do it, they're gonna be like John Wayne, Captain America. You know what I mean? It'll be like, no, don't put him in a superhero movie. Thanos, John Wayne is Thanos. That's what they do. You know they would try to ruin it because most people today don't like him anyway. Oh. Desert Boy said Kelly's Heroes and Dirty Harry. So, Sheldon, okay, so you don't like the old stuff. What's your favorite Western of all time then?
A Western I can just put on and watch, it would honestly be the 2010 True Grit.
Oh, yeah. You see, that's okay. It took me a lot of years to understand it because I did not want to move from the old one. I felt like the Matty Ross in the old one was a far more heart. But when I finally look at it with an unbiased eye, I'm like, yeah, because they could do so much. To be honest, you say John Wayne's over the top. To me, that's Rooster Cogburn. Now I feel like the new Rooster Cogburn's too even keel, too slow, too low. But I see it. I had to completely erase that from my mind and try to read it, watch it just like the book. And when you realize that night scene in the end, where they're riding and they can actually make it look like night instead of like 1969, where it looked like they just threw a shade over the camera. Stuff like that, that can really. And I finally realized, especially to people who never grew or understood or watched the old one much. But yeah, I felt like Jeff Bridges was a way real even keel for what that character was supposed to be.
I think True Grit would be good if they had an actor who was the same age as Rooster Cogburn play him. I think he was supposed to be like early 40s at least.
Yeah, and it could have been, but you have to remember at that time, if you put John Wayne in it, you made bank. That was
John Wayne was the Western.
Yeah, and hauled iron cook stoves up freighters steeper than this. Shoot it. Being alive, sister, being alive. That if you've never watched, you see a lot of people complain because in '69, True Grit doesn't have everything the book has, but they don't realize it's a 2-part movie series. A lot of people don't even realize that Rooster Cogburn and the Lady, True Grit Part 2 with John Wayne exists. And that's where a lot of the action and stuff from the first movie that didn't get put in got put in. So if you're missing a lot of that, it's actually in the second one.
I read the book, and I do prefer book versions of the original books a lot because you do get extra scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But when I read like the book, and the first half of it was just Maddie in town, it was kind of.
I read the book too. I didn't mind it because I was kind of used to that style of writing, I guess. But I mean, I read it when I was fairly younger, and that was another thing I like about both of them actually, because in '69 they tried to get the language right. It's not like even in the John Wayne Western. It's when Strother Martin's talking, he's not talking like Strother Martin. He's talking, in that dialect, that 19th century dialect. But man, they turned that up to 10 in the new one. And so it's like, I do appreciate that. The language is spot on. It feels like it flows like 19th century,
Mm-hmm. I would also say, it's kind of maybe biased because they're both Coen brother movies, but The Battle of the Buster Scruggs. I like that.
Well, if Duke was back yet, he'd be able to sing that for you. I
was a little bit disappointed when I first watched it because I thought the whole thing was just going to be like a comedic Western, and then that's what I get for not reading the description.
I actually enjoyed the wagon train sequence in Buster.
Yeah, I did too.
Mostly because that was the first time that, we've heard all of our lives. Well, I don't know if you have because you're kind of on that side, but we always heard, the story, especially when I was growing up watching the old 50s Western. You always save the one bullet for the lady, and they're always telling her if the worst comes. But in those 1950s Westerns, the worst never came. And in that one, the worst didn't come either, but it did.
Yeah.
So, was that something you had heard a lot? Well, you didn't watch the old movies, but were you kind of with that? Yeah. Did you get the same feeling when he told her, when you heard that gunshot at the end of the wagon train sequence? You're like,
For me, it's just like, it wasn't the gunshot I heard because, he shoots that Indian at the same time.
Yeah.
So when he gets up and finds her, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
He actually did it.
Maybe we should have rethought this thing, this movie trope a little bit more. If that was a thing, if they had been a thing like that, and I'm sure it was at some point, somebody did it. They did.
Yeah.
Did Sheldon ever watch F Troop?
No.
He didn't watch old stuff. He is not familiar with Captain Parmenter, I guarantee you. But anyway, what were you going to say? When I was growing up, I wasn't much into the Western history and Western stuff. Yeah.
The fantasy and sci-fi.
Yeah.
So,
even with your culture and stuff, it wasn't, even though it's different tribes and stuff, you didn't get into a lot of Into the West. And
I didn't watch Into the West until I was middle school. Like, I remember when I was in elementary, they had to have us watch Dances with Wolves, and I actually just got up and walked into principal's office because I didn't want to watch a boring Western.
Yeah. Well, I can't hardly blame you on that one because they never seen a white man in 1866. It's kind of a. But there was that culture. It seemed like really big in the '90s with Wes Studi and Graham Greene and Gordon Tatusis and that that group.
Yeah.
The group. And so I didn't know if you guys were into that. Like you said, your family had made some movies at the time.
I mean, for me growing up, it was just, I work where I went to school now, but, you get told you're an Indian, you're a Lakota, they teach you some of the language. That just is a normal everyday thing for me, so I didn't think of much of it. And then once you start branching out, then like when I start going to a state school, then I find out that some of the words I use, I don't speak perfect Lakota. I use like small words or here and there, and I found those aren't, universally known. Huh.
Do you remember Dreamcatcher being a big thing?
Yeah.
The movie?
Yeah. Like I really liked the isn't Martin Lawrence in that movie?
Which
I can't
one?
remember. Dreamcatcher with Eddie Spears.
I don't know.
I think because remember the redheaded Kiowa scene?
Oh yeah, I remember that. I just didn't remember putting it to port. Did you say Laramie or Larned?
Larned.
Oh, it might have been. Most thing I remember about
I know
that
it's on
movie.
YouTube.
The most thing I remember about that movie was his bumper sticker said, "My heroes have always killed cowboys."
Yeah. I know.
And the water snake in the mud puddle.
Yeah, like what do you call it? That High Horse story.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. And then when you read Black Elk Speaks, he gives the longer version of it.
Okay.
And there's like so much scenes in there that got cut out that would made it even better. That like
You did that like a director's cut, or they just never filmed it?
They just probably never filmed it.
Yeah.
Like in the movie, he gets chased out of a village while he's in that while he's in that little costume painted up. And the story that Black Elk says is that he was tired and everything, so when he crawls into the teepee to steal that woman, like he's captivated by her and he just can't think of nothing else but sleep, so he falls asleep next to her while painted up like that. So they wake up and you see something like that laying next to you, you're gonna freak out. Or one of the ones they say that when he's trying to cut the rawhide wraps that are holding her down so she doesn't get stolen, he accidentally he pops it, but he keeps going. Actually, jabs her in the side.
Yeah.
So it's just like little things like that just get cut out, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I actually didn't know. I knew it was based on the legends, but I didn't know it was actually based on written legend. So
yeah, if you get Black Elk Speaks, he talks about it.
I just remember thinking that the water serpent was pretty cool.
I know, but the way Black Elk says it was, the way he starts it off is saying High Horse and his wife, they still, his book got written in the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And he says they're still alive up on the Northern Cheyenne Reservation. So it makes me wonder, think they're Cheyenne, not Lakota.
Mm.
But yeah, it's just like when you read that, you got that story. Now when you read it, it just gives you more, and I can visualize it a lot. And then I was like, man, they could just made this way better.
Yeah, at least you make it sound like Dreamcatcher was pretty well accepted, then, huh?
Yeah, I mean the other day. Or was it last week? I can't remember which. They the youth center, they built like a little outdoor driving theater screen, and they were showing it last week.
Huh.
So
I remember that was a big. My sister was big into that show, so I remember watching it. That's been a long time ago that came out now.
like 2003, 2002, somewhere around there.
20 plus years ago now.
Yeah, because I was a little kid when it came out.
Yeah. What were you going to talk about that you wanted waiting for Duke for?
Oh, I was going to tell him about that movie, Good, the Bad, the Weird.
Oh yeah. Well, he seems to have gone again. So.
Yeah.
Had to go drain the radiator.
So he was going to tell you about the good, the bad, and the weird.
It's just the South Korean version of the Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
Oh god.
It takes place during the Japanese occupation of Korea. It's a good, you can say, South Korean Western.
Right.
You know, it has its own little tropes in it, so you can enjoy it. So I would check it out for you.
I'll have to look into that one.
So, what's your best Clint Eastwood movie?
Unforgiven.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were saying. Let's see. Reed Desert Boy said, "What about the legend of Hugh Cardiff, the beginning of Sam Elliott's career?" I thought the beginning of Sam Elliott's career was Sundance or Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, or Butch and Sundance.
Whose
He didn't
career?
have- yeah, he was in there without a mustache. He was the gambler in the very first.
Mm.
Oh, you never see his face.
You see his face.
Sam Elliott?
Yep, he does not have a mustache.
Who did he play?
The very first gambler, like in the very first scene, the black and white scene.
Yeah.
He's the gambler opposite of the table. Let me see. I'll bring it up here.
I think one movie or one thing that would be a good either mini series or just like a movie would be that Richard and Janice's little feud they had. You can start it off with that John getting killed.
Yep.
I think like if there's a series, John Richards getting killed and
John Richard being killed, huh?
Junior. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask Duke if he has an extra copy of Wild Reshaw Boys because my cat decided to throw up on mine.
I might be able to get one.
Okay.
Might have to go to Fort Laramie, but
Let's see. Open file. All right.
That's
See
all
if I
right.
can remember how to do this.
I saw that road between Lingle and the I-25 was closed today. So
the which one?
that highway between Lingle and I-25 was closed.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah. They
wildfires.
got a big fire up there, so 28,000 acres because two fires merged up by Guernsey, between Guernsey
Dang.
and Fort Laramie. The fire jumped the highway and started heading kind of towards the old fort, but several miles away. But it doesn't look like it's advanced any. 28,000 acres, zero containment. They're basically trying to head it off, and it has not burned down any buildings as of yet.
Mm.
But there for a while, Hartville was on mandatory evacuation.
That must be
Yeah.
spooky.
Sounds like fun. Let's see. What's this number?
What was that last month or earlier this month? We had a really bad wind, like storm, where like the roofs got torn off a couple of houses and trailers got torn apart.
Right.
I slept through the whole thing.
Slept right through her, huh? Let's see.
Like man, I would have woke up somewhere else.
I'm gonna get her. Refresh. Desktop. Where did you go? There you are. There you go. This is him in Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid.
That's Sam Elliott?
That is Sam Elliott.
I thought that was some other guy.
Nope, that is him.
I thought that's the guy that John Wayne killed in the end of the shootist.
No, that's Bruce Dern.
No, not that guy. No,
Oh, the end of the shooting. Oh, no, not Hugh O'Brien. I was thinking Cowboys. No, he looks like Hugh O'Brien, but that is Sam Elliott.
Doesn't sound like Sam Elliott.
It's him, I promise you.
He was one cigar away from getting his voice deeper.
He was. He did not have that deep of a voice. That was his first, as far as I know, that was his first acting role.
No, I thought his first acting role was in Gunsmoke.
No, I think this might have been before his Gunsmoke. This might have been his first movie role. Because if you've never actually seen him in Mission Impossible either, he looks just like that and does not talk like Sam Elliott in the old TV series. But that's him. Let's see.
No, I would. I was gonna say, I know you guys probably. I think another Western I like, and it tells you, more into the modern Westerns, but I like the Tarantino Django Unchained.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in like 2 months, out of the hospital bed is Snapper. Yay!
Hey guys.
Hi, Snapper.
Hello.
I had a bunch of gonna have my video on. I just walked in the door. I have nothing prepped, so I figured I'd just come on with the avatar.
Yeah,
Don't worry, I am too.
Okay,
I definitely want to do a live pretty soon, though. Like pretty soon, just to get back in the swing of things. But how's everybody else doing?
Where is Peachy?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Dick to try to dispute my Sam Elliott.
He is there. He's card player number 2. He's this one right here. The other
Yeah.
one. He's not the one that's talking. He's not the one that he shoots the gun belt off of.
No.
Hey, real quick though, do you guys hear that the New Horizon movie?
You showed a picture of him. He shot the gun belt off of it.
No, that's him. I swear.
Sorry, Snapper.
That they're pushing back the second part to the Horizon movie a little bit longer because apparently the first part didn't do so good. I saw it. That was a good movie. I liked it.
I figured you would. What was your overall impressions?
I liked it a lot. I think it was a little. I think they should have gotten rid of maybe one or two stories, because a lot of people that I knew, they were a little confused. I mean, it just seems like there's too many stories in at once. But it's also multiple series, so it makes sense over the long run. So I think that's why the first one didn't do so well with many people, because they got to realize it's multiple series to really, get your head around it all.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too, but I kind of went in there expecting it.
Right.
And so
I liked it, other than the fact that they had a walker, like conversion walkers. If they got rid of the conversion walker, that would have been cool.
I didn't see the walker.
Yeah, it might have been a Dragoon, but man, I tell you, it looked like a walker to me, because it looked a little bit bigger than a Dragoon.
The one that they were calling the Johnson and Dow?
Yeah, yeah. It was they called it the Danson Brothers. Like, is that a Danson Brother? I think that's what they called it, a Danson Brother 44. I was like, that is definitely not a Danson Brothers.
Yeah.
Garrett, that was Paul Breyer.
Well, I'm looking at it and I don't see.
The picture you posted was Paul Breyer. Because Sam Elliott was a pretty young guy in that one.
Yeah. Right here it says Sam Elliott.
Yeah, he's card player number 2, the one that's off to the side. He's right there in the bowler hat. The picture you showed was this guy over here. He shoots the gun belt off.
Okay, just a second. I got to get out of this without killing everything. All right, show me the picture again. Okay, so this guy back here, you sure that's not Paul Newman?
No.
There's only 3 people in that scene.
No, there's 4. There's Butch, Sundance, and there's 2 people because Sundance, whatever, they're playing. He's playing cards with 2 guys. Sam Elliott is a second card player.
All right, I'm seeing every picture here says that's Sam Elliott, though.
Well, they're all wrong because Sam Elliott is the young guy. The guy in the picture you showed of, he's an older guy, and that's Paul Breyer is fairly old, or was an older guy in that one.
All right, chat, you're gonna have to settle this. Hang on, I gotta watch the scene.
But yeah, if you look, well, you can't see it on my phone through there, but if you can find that picture and look at it close, you can see that's Sam Elliott because he's got the lip droop where that big mustache sits.
Yeah, I'm watching it again right now just to double check, but I'm still pretty sure I'm right. So one of them gets up and walks away. And Okay, so the scene I'm seeing with three guys is Paul Newman, Robert Redford, and him. I'm looking for this other scene with three.
Because when he says you're cheating, that's when Sam Elliott throws his cards down, stands up, and backs away. There's three people sitting down at the poker table.
Okay, I see another guy in the background here. Okay, so why does every picture say that's him then? Huh.
Because people lie.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
Sam Elliott wouldn't be that old in that movie.
Wait, are you telling me people don't tell the truth on the internet?
Oh, of course not.
You got to be pulling my finger, man.
I mean, the internet says, well, I'm not going to say it. I can't get in
Nope.
politics. I'm going to say it.
Because I'm looking at this picture of him right here, and it looks just like the same guy.
No, there ain't enough lip.
Okay.
We need a full size picture of this picture
Sam Elliott has
to understand what we're looking at here.
lip underneath that mustache.
All right. So here's Sam Elliott for sure, without the mustache. This is in Gunsmoke. Let's see if I can draw that up. Let's see. Save that picture.
All right, give me a second because I'm trying to pull pictures up too. Come on, computer, you can think that. Oh, for crying out loud, it's going to freeze up on me.
Okay. So let me grab this over here and do a little work on it. A little editing. Save it as a JPG. Save as copy.
Chief brothel inspector. Really? Really, Duke?
All right. So here we go. Here we go. We'll settle this debate. Brand overlay. Sam Elliott from Gunsmoke. Sam Elliott from Gunsmoke.
Hold on, that's Sam Elliott?
Yep.
Holy cow. He looks so different when he was a younger man.
Everybody on the internet saying that's Sam Elliott, so maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, it's possible. I think he looks much cooler as an old man, though.
Yeah, me too.
I wish I had that kind of voice, too. That really deep and low, you know. So pull up that other picture you guys are talking about now so we can actually all see.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. All right, well, here's the other picture. There's that picture. There's that picture.
Okay. I mean, it kind of looks like the same person. Pretty much looks like the same person.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just what I've always heard. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see.
What's that? What's the picture that Duke was? Yeah, Duke was talking about the picture he was showing. What picture was that?
You'll have to wait till he comes back with it because I'm not sure what he had.
Oh.
Ah.
I mean, if you just a little off topic, but if you want to get, there's 3 white horses that are just strays that keep chasing them away from their school. They got no
I
brands.
don't need any. I got 2 right now that I gotta feed, and I don't ever ride.
Ooh, 2 free horses.
3.
There you go,
Three.
Snapper.
They got no brands. They're a little malnourished.
I've got technically 3 metal horses now, and they're costing me enough money as it is. I don't know if I could afford a real one. I'd have to feed it anything other than gasoline and oil.
All right. I know how we're gonna do this.
I don't want to go inside the building. It's so hot in there.
Did
Guess it'd help if I turned on my microphone.
you find a picture of the other guy?
Hang on a
Paul
second.
Breyer?
Hold on a second. Now I gotta find where I saved it at. Okay.
What do you got?
So this is the one that I was showing you.
Okay.
And that feller over there on the left side of the screen, that's Sam Elliott.
I think that's Paul Newman. In the
No.
left-hand side, as I'm looking at it, farthest away from Robert Redford in this picture.
Well, that's the one they say is Sam Elliott when you pull up the picture of Sam Elliott and on the IMDb, whatever it is. When you click on Sam Elliott's character's name, card player number 2, that's the one that pops up.
Okay, so
Too bad it's not crystal clear because it's kind of hard to tell. He's a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
So
All right, that's it. Somebody needs to call Sam Elliott right now and ask him.
That's not Sam Elliott. Guy's nose is too big. And Sam Elliott's lips are pencil thin. This guy's got more prominent lips.
it very well could be. You may be right. I'm wrong, and evidently the whole internet is. Paul Breyer. Hang on, let's look at this guy. I don't know.
And then look at the eyebrows. The eyebrows are different too.
That's what I said.
His
Yeah.
eyebrows are long and thin. This guy's are kind of short and bushy.
Let's see.
I wonder if it's the lighting, though, could do that.
And then
The one
guy-
looks like he's lit from behind, and the other looks like he's lit from the front.
Yeah.
His
Well, and
nostrils
then you
look a little
here,
big on him.
the bone structure in his forehead is more prominent than Sam Elliott's.
I will take the L on this one because I think you're right. Even though the Paul Breyer guy doesn't look like that either.
Yeah.
Because the voice, this guy's voice is really raspy.
Yeah, I
And
always
it's
thought
not
it was weird
Sam
that
Elliott
would
raspy.
be.
Question, though, he was a lot younger in that.
The internet.
I wonder if the raspiness, like his voice didn't like become what it is till later on in life.
No, I think it's too far gone.
Okay.
Yeah, because you got. Let's see here.
I'm gonna see if I can.
It's things like this that convince me the other way, but like you said, I'm probably completely. Let's see. Where did it go? I know I just saved it. Oh, that's not it. Hang on. That's not it either. Hang on. Here we go.
So I have a question. How do we even get in this subject? I literally just got home and came onto the.
Well, we were talking
podcast.
about westerns, and I can't remember. We were talking about Sam Elliott.
But Sam Elliott's voice at that time was not really that deep and raspy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Why is it always the little dogs that are the yappiest?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, Paul Newman's not wearing a bowler hat at the beginning of that. He's got that fedora on. And he doesn't have a plaid coat. That guy's got a plaid coat.
Every time I try to draw that picture up, it ain't it. Yeah.
All right, I'm watching the movie here. Give me just a second.
Real quick here, though, Garrett. I found that apparently Warner Brothers agrees with you. I was sitting at the VA watching the little TV while it took forever. They're talking about The Searchers being one of John Wayne's best movies. And I would have to agree.
Oh, this says
That and
Donnelly
the shooting.
Rhodes.
Who?
Donnelly Rhodes is the guy.
Okay, because Paul Bryant did not look like him.
Yeah. Donnelly Rhodes. Because the guy's name is Macon.
You got a picture of him?
Not off the top of my head, and I don't want to look it up again because it froze up my computer last time.
Yeah.
I broke
I
these
guess
guys'
I
hearts
can't
earlier by saying I'm not
You
John
can't
Wayne
believe
person.
everything Wikipedia tells you. But let's go
Well,
to
especially
comment.
don't believe Wikipedia because other people edit that thing.
Yeah, it wasn't Wikipedia. It was Guns of the West magazine, and a couple others have that picture of Sam Elliott.
Oh, yeah, you really don't trust Guns of the West.
Okay. Gunsmoke the Wedding. The other guy's cheeks are too sunken in. I know that his first real starring war is I Will Fight No More role is I'll Fight No More Forever. Somebody said on the eyebrows tweezers do that. Joshua Harris says eyes are different. Yeah, Crush Bird said, "Come on, Garrett, you got a good start to gun horses." Yeah, I'll just have Sheldon bring them down to me. Load them in the back of his
FedEx
pickup.
overnight.
Yeah. Drive it out here. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah, just missed it.
What? Oh, you're trying to pause the stream? Plowboy's in. Hi, Plowboy. Said, I feel like we're trying to match up a new picture of Billy the Kid against the known picture of Billy.
Yeah. Earlier,
If it was John Wayne, you'd know it. Yes, we would. If it was John Wayne, we'd know it.
Earlier, I broke Garrett and Duke's heart by saying I don't like John Wayne movies.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's what I said.
Garrett was ready to
Yeah,
kick me out
that
of
is
here.
Sam Elliott over there side because Sam Elliott's on that side of the screen. Paul Newman's taking the coins off the table in that scene.
So basically, Sam Elliott's not even on screen in that movie.
He is on screen.
Just for like a split second.
Yep.
Okay. Well, there you go. You fixed
Hang on a
it.
second. I'm gonna try to get it again. Just give me a second here. Okay, there we go. Hang on. I'm coming up with it. Hang on a second. Give me just
Hey, we got a super chat from Black Powder and Mini Balls. He said, $1.99. Love your stuff, man. Can I get a shout out, please? Well, Black Powder and Mini Ball, there you go. Go check out his channel, I guess. I haven't seen it, but yeah, there's your shout out. I've never actually had that happen where it came up as a starred. There we go.
All right, there he is behind the pole.
Behind the pole.
It's like looking at that big. It was like that picture of Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
Yeah, right in front of the staircase over there. That's him.
Yeah.
I should have
he
zoomed
got-
in on.
Oh, I'm seeing that. Okay, so there's 4 people in this picture.
Yeah, there's the barkeep. There's Robert Redford shooting. There's the Macon guy. And then, yeah, the guy right next to the staircase, that is Sam Elliott.
Cool.
And even though it's kind of zoomed out, you can kind of see his facial features better in that one. Let me see if I can edit that.
Okay, so Sabador, who is your favorite Western character then, or actor?
Western.
Who?
I don't really have a favorite Western actor.
He likes sci-fi. So are you a Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Oh no, modern Star Wars too. Oh dear Lord.
I watched the originals.
Yeah, the originals are all right. Freaking
You're not
Disney
a-
destroyed it.
You're not a
Whole system.
sequels fan?
Huh?
You're not a sequels fan?
I like the sequels because they're coming out when I was little. I remember one time, when the second one came out, I bugged my dad enough so we watched that one twice in one day because I wanted to see those clone troopers.
Nice.
And I remember my dad took my brother and I to see episode 3 on opening day.
Yeah.
So that's Sam Elliott. Ta-da.
That's Sammy.
Let's see.
You could say it's Michael Jackson because he ain't got a nose.
Get out of the way.
Well, somebody's got to spend the $10,000 to go on Cameo and have Sam Elliott tell us which one he is.
Indeed.
Yeah, I believe you. I'm just reading the articles here that have it wrong too. One article has it right. It's actually Looper of all things. They've said not. Let's see. You gotta kill this again. What in the world? It keeps covering it up, but I'm trying to read. Anyway, basically, Looper's saying that his scene in. I can't read it because it keeps getting covered up by an ad that I can't get rid of. But what they basically seen it said is it's a mistake to think that he is the card player number 1. He's card player number 2. He is in the film for stupid ad. I don't want.
You need to install an ad blocker.
Yeah, I know. I never get on this. Then it goes down to his future wife. Send feedback. I'll just say that I saw this ad multiple times. Ad closed by Google, and it's a blank spot over what I was trying to read. All right. Behind the making of shadows lurks 25-year-old Elliott, known only as card player 2. He's on screen for just a couple seconds, and we don't get to actually hear his now legendary voice, but he's there. Elliott is later referred to the part as nothing more than a shadow on the wall, a glorified extra in a bar scene. Oh, there you go.
I'd be happy with that, though.
What's funny is all the other ones are saying that he's the other guy. But Duke knows best. He knows it's Sam Elliott.
It's called investigative abilities.
That sure don't look like Sam Elliott in that picture either.
Looks more like Sam Elliott than the main guy.
It's Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. Somebody said bring back John Wayne as Captain Kirk. Someone said bringing back John Wayne as Gandalf the Grey.
That would actually be
this
kind of
far. What was somebody?
Well, now, Frodo, we're going to hit the trail and destroy that ring.
Yeah, somebody had a line.
Now you can't pass here.
Yeah, you shall not pass, Pilgrim.
I think that Jimmy Stewart is that.
Yeah, that would be. It would be frantic and falling and arms going everywhere.
Now, you just go back to the abyss from which you came. You shall not pass.
That is too
That's good.
That is too good. Oh, I can see it now.
You guys are crazy.
Jimmy the Grey.
Now remember, Frodo, the ring wants to be found.
Say, a wizard is never late, nor is he early.
Now, wizard's never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
No, I took that line and just replaced wizard with Indian.
Oh man, that's funny.
I like your avatar, Salvador. Your avatar there, Salvador. Is that your Tinder dating profile picture?
Yeah.
You call the chicks with that one on.
Oh man, have you not been on here with Sheldon yet, Snapper?
No, a couple times. It's
Okay.
man, I have been so out of it. I've never been this sick in my life, man. I'm still like not at 100%. That or die, one of the two. Freaking A. Getting old.
Did they figure it out yet?
No, not really. At first they thought it was COVID again. I'm like, heck no, I've had that like 15,000 times and I was fine the next day.
West Nile.
So wouldn't shock me. But no, everything they've tested me through seems like I'm coming out fine with everything. Like nothing's showing up major. So
Well, that's good anyway.
yeah.
Plowboy said, from all I've read, multiple sources, the one Duke says is Sam Elliott is Sam Elliott. Yes, we've established that already. Can we move on now? It ain't established on Google Images.
Google Images.
Evidently they are. As a matter of fact, I'd had friends tell me that was him for years and years, so I assumed it was. Probably because I didn't have much idea what he looked like outside of a few episodes of Mission Impossible and those Gunsmoke episodes, I guess. But he had a mustache in most of those.
Is it Mission Impossible?
The original TV series, yeah, he's a main cast for a couple seasons.
Mm.
And no, he doesn't have a mustache in that either.
Mm.
We're gonna prove Garrett wrong again. No, I'm kidding.
You can look at that one. I know that one's true. Oh.
Yeah, I would lie though. That would be a lot of fun to be an extra in Hollywood for westerns. Just for westerns, I wouldn't want to be in anything else but westerns.
Why don't you go be a armorer for Horizon, and then it would be perfect.
I'm telling you, I'd do it for free. For any western, I would do it for free.
I'm telling you this too. After I
As long,
thought about that.
by the way, as long as we know who isn't the main actor, because I don't know how, but I would never want to be the armor with he who shall not be named.
And Don Rickles as Gimli the dwarf. There you go. That'd be hilarious. He'd be roasting people. But no, I was discussing this earlier, Snapper. I had to think about it, but when I thought about it, and I realized, Costner financed that all with his own money, and so it was kind of budgeted.
Yeah.
And the majority of the story is supposed to take place in the 1870s and even into the 80s. And so
that would make sense.
Bought the guns for the majority of the movie, and they just used them in the first part.
That would make sense. And you got to realize how many people, nor do they know nor care. It's usually just a small people on the side. It doesn't take away from the story.
No. Do they know that? Well, the thing is, cartridge revolvers existed. They just weren't Colts.
No
Smith
Colts.
and Wesson already had a lot of cartridge revolvers out by 63.
The little 22. That'd be hilarious. Give everybody the Smith and Wesson 22.
They had a 32 out by then. The Smith & Wesson No. 2 Army.
But how funny would that be if they had a Western with big guns and they're just putting out these little tiny Smith & Wessons?
Well, that's what's
Entire
funny.
movie.
The Smith & Wesson Model 2 Army isn't that small. It's between a 49 pocket model of 51 Navy, and it's a cartridge 32.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I almost bought one of those once a long time ago.
So,
Really cheap, and I wish I would have got it.
I wish they would, but nobody makes a replica of them, so they're not going to show up in movies.
No.
Well, there was one in the Magnificent Seven remake.
Yeah.
That's about it.
About forgot about that thing. The only thing I remember about that is Duke disproving it again.
What did I disprove?
It works in Hollywood, Magnificent Seven.
I'm gonna get Duke an anti-fun police badge.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's funny.
What was that one? I think it was a CN Arsenal. It was in 65 or 66. Tranter or Webley had a 44 centerfire revolver. So stuff like that should have proven Roland White's patent invalid.
What did you say again? I was reading the comment. What did you say?
Oh, CN Arsenal, I think they mentioned Tranter, the British firm, or Webley back in 1866 or 65 they had a 44 caliber sensor fire, double action.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be something to have back then.
Yeah, it's kind of just those RIC guns. I got one over there that doesn't work, but I have one. They were center fire, but the thing was, they had settled on that bored through rolling white cylinder thing by basically the Civil War, so 1860 and pre. I got to think if it was, but yeah, they had it for 9 years basically.
But what didn't that stop manufacturers from making it in the United States because you could sell them here?
It kind of did, but the only place really that was like Spain was the ones that really didn't stand up. But like the patent stuff, even like Colt brevets, they would go overseas, and they'd get them, especially in England.
Yep.
Well, I'm just saying, wouldn't they be able just to sell the web transfers and stuff here without, because they're not making it here?
Well, not necessarily, because Colt hunted down his patents in England. What's the deal on that, Snapper? You probably more read up on it than me.
Say that one again, Garrett.
Well, he was chasing down patent infringement in England on the brevets.
Yeah, for a while.
So it could be done there.
What they ended up doing was he realized that it was costing him too much money to try to get all the patent pieces together, and he kind of ended up having that. The whole reason the whole brevet thing kind of really kicked off was he started saying, if you pay us a very small amount, we'll let you make it and we'll call it a Colt brevet. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, that's kind of how it's. He got to the point where it was just unfeasible to fight every single lawsuit in all these different countries. That they started going to the proofing houses, and the proofing houses were like, "Oh, you pay this little extra money and we'll let it happen." And Colt obviously got their part of that. Little bit of money plus the country itself, so he got around it. He didn't make as much money, but he also wasn't making the guns, so any money's better than nothing.
Yeah. So I remember reading that the Union Army purchased pinfire cartridges for their pinfire revolvers. They limited the usage, but it was one of those things that things like that were around.
Yeah.
You don't want to give nobody no bullets because they'll shoot them all. I mean, you can't give them cartridges. You're just going to shoot them all in 5 minutes.
Now, I don't know if I've ever heard that or read that anywhere exactly like that, but okay. Because they had.
I've heard people say it so many times. That's why they didn't want to go to but you know what? You're right. I've heard it in documentaries, but I don't think I've ever really actually read it.
That's how I feel about when they. That's how I feel about when they say the 66 Winchester was called the Yellow Boy by the Indians, but I think that was just a marketing.
Yeah, that's Winchester. No, what people are thinking of, and they always misquote it, was Ripley not adopting the Spencer across the entire military for the Civil War as a rifle because it would have cost over $35 a piece to do, and they didn't have the money to do it. And everybody reads that, Ripley did not want to get modern ammunition to the soldiers because they would shoot up too fast. No, because it was a pipe dream. They were not arming the entire Union Army mid-war with Spencer rifles. It was not going to happen. It would have taken.
Plus, they were kind of seeing the writing on the wall by mid-war that all they had to do was just keep putting more and more people out.
Yeah. Well, they wanted a cartridge gun by 64. They wanted one, but they didn't have no money. They still bought Sharps rifles for $35 a piece, and that was a big deal because they couldn't pay for them till well after the war.
And it's a lot easier to make paper cartridges than copper cartridges.
That is true.
That is true.
Could you imagine if, how can we talk about all the trouble that 65 had? If just middle war, no testing, no nothing, just get everybody a cartridge gun. That one. What a disaster.
Like the baptism of fire that the Walker had.
No, because that gun wouldn't have worked. The 65 wouldn't have worked.
Well, that's true.
It would have failed them.
Might have set us back for the cartridge era for a while.
It might have. It would have been. That gun it's a proof of concept, but we say the Walker's a proof of concept. That one's worse than the Walker. You're talking a jam every 3 shots.
The Colt Walker with his 90 grains of powder in each cylinder.
Yeah.
Here we go. I better get my waders. It's getting deep in here.
Yeah. Now tell us about how Jimmy Stewart would have told us all about that walker with 90 grains of powder.
Oh, this is the biggest black powder handgun ever made. It holds 90 grains of powder.
What's fat?
And a 250 grain bullet. Traveling at 1,200 feet per second.
Is you don't sound too far off from old Phil. Kind of sounds like that. Holds 90 grains of powder, more than the average musket charge. It's more powerful than a 69 caliber smoothbore.
That was funny is when I worked up at Fort Laramie, I told a joke one time. I was like, I was going to give the Cannon program doing a Jimmy Stewart impression.
That would be good.
47 Mountain Howitzer or 41 Mountain Howitzer. And do you know what this thing will do?
Now you know Mom and Pop always voted Democrat.
But that's not what a good, honest Republican businessman would do, Harley.
Exactly. I haven't seen that one in so long. Oh, it's kind of like what is the one where him and Dean Martin are doing Lonesome Dove before Lonesome Dove?
Oh yeah, that Bandolero.
Bandolero, yeah. Saying there's a lot of Indians up in Wyoming.
That's funny. Bandolero. It's filmed where Lonesome Dove would be filmed at.
And it has
the
Johnson.
characters Roscoe Brown and July Johnson.
Yep. And the whole thing is we're going to go up to Montana and build a cabin. Sure you want to go to Montana? Well, there's the Sioux. There's the Cheyenne. There's the Blackfeet. What are you trying to say? I'm saying there's a whole lot of Indians. I love that show. Jake wants you to do Don Rickles as Gimli. I haven't seen enough of Don Rickles. I only seen like his race.
Not the beard.
You're gonna have to get shorter and balder.
Perfect Gimli.
Oh.
No, actually, Jimmy Stewart would have been a good Elrond in Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
We'll just call you the Fellowship of the Ring.
I thought he was going to say he'd made better Sam. No. Jimmy Stewart as Frodo. John Wayne as Sam.
Well, now, Mr. Frodo.
I may not be able to carry the ring, but I can carry you.
Oh, geez. We're having too much fun.
Cowboys Ride said, Duke, please tell us.
Well,
don't you know me, Frodo? Duke, please tell us about Saddle Tree.
It's just one that I bought. Bought it offline, and I got gypped on it. I paid $125 for the tree, and then it was going to charge me $160 for the shipping. I told them that was way too much, and they said, "Well, we'll split the difference, but you're not getting a refund." So I paid
That's messed up.
$80 to ship it, but I bought it a few years ago because when I first seen the pictures, and actually the pictures I saw was not this tree. They had pictures of a hope tree, had a bigger wood horn. The swells on the pommel weren't as wide. What I got was a rope, and I've just hung on to it because I couldn't send it back. And it's almost as old as I am. It was made in 1990. And the rawhide split a bit on it, but I think I can still make a saddle out of it. I've had it for years with the full intention of making it a saddle. And just haven't done it. I got thinking I should do it, but then as we were doing the chat here, I looked up the price of saddle skirting, and that has now gone up considerably.
I'll tell you what, to rebuild a roper like that, it costs about $2,000.
Yeah.
To rebuild it without the tree.
I need to buy 2 sides of saddle skirting leather, and I just looked at it, and it is, where'd it go? $315 for one side. So $630 to build a full saddle.
Yeah, that Shyman I was riding for a long time. It's been about 15 years ago. We had it rebuilt for $700 15 years ago, and now it's incredibly expensive.
And I just ordered another tree too. That it's a more modern roper. It's got the wider.
Why didn't you?
on it.
Should have picked up one of them trees from Henry.
I was going to, and I've forgotten to get a hold of him about that. I need to send him a message.
He had a bunch of McClellans, as I recall.
Well, no, he told me he had a Hope tree at home.
Mm.
I need to get a hold of him because he said he wanted something that I had, and I was going to offer him a trade, and I completely forgot about it.
Mm. What's a Hope tree worth?
I'm gonna have to
If
meet
I
with
buy a
Michael.
brand new one, $600.
What were you saying, Sheldon? We lost Sheldon. Franklin Horse asked, favorite saddle? I like military McClellans. I'm on Mother Hubbard.
Okay.
I like the Mother Hubbard because it's real common.
Yeah, if I get a saddle tree, a new one, I'm either going to buy a Mother Hubbard or a Hope.
Well, that's about that. Well, Snapper, what else is going on in your world?
I'm chasing horses at the moment.
Oh, sorry.
Other than just,
Yeah.
other than being sick, not much.
Keep
Not
them
much.
horses going.
Right.
There's 2 white ones. Looks like a bay and like a tan and white one. I don't know if you can count that as a paint or not.
Pinto.
What do you got there? New pommel holster? Yeah, old pommel
I was
holster.
going to see how they sat.
Ooh.
They don't sit very good.
They're pretty wide. They're about like the ones I was using. Maybe not quite as bad.
Yeah.
You know, I chase these horses about almost every shift.
Quit feeding them.
People need to stop putting garbage out in their garbage cans. That's where they're bringing in their food, the trash.
What you're supposed
Hell,
to
the
do
owners
is,
feed them.
if it was around here and it was my horses, somebody would have already called the law.
Oh, they call the law and they're like, oh, they got brands and they're not outside town, so we can't do nothing.
They can be inside town and out. That's all that matters. Huh?
Hey, Sheldon, you got free meat just standing there. You just got to go shoot it and butcher it.
I'm not Apache.
Not Prairie Apache or Kiowa. Oh, Cheyenne, Prairie Apache, Kiowa. Whew. Well, I would say pull the Leonardo DiCaprio, but it's a little too warm. It's too hot to fish.
If it's too hot to fish, you're in hell.
I thought you were going to finish the song for me, Duke. I thought surely you would catch that.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
Too hot for golf. You don't know Too Cold at Home by Mark Chestnut? What has the world come to? What has the world come to?
Somewhere I probably get in trouble for driving now.
You just be like Duke used to do when I'd get up at 5 in the morning and he'd still be at work Fort Laramie in a wizardy cold winter night and call him up and beep, beep, beep. He'd just be driving the circle. Driving the circle.
Because we had that cell phone that checked out where we were at.
Oh, I'm currently, need a reverse to get out of where I just drove onto, but this unit does not have a rear view mirror, so I'm just using my side mirrors because this place does not care about security. We get all the broken stuff.
That's just security everywhere, my friend.
Right?
You never expect to go backwards, only forward.
Yeah.
Well, why did this happen? Because you didn't give us the supplies? Do you need the supplies? Yes.
You didn't give us the
Well, why'd
tools
you-
to do the job.
Do you guys really need this training? Yes. What if something seriously bad happens?
Well, you're supposed to sit there and holler real loud.
You
Hey,
blow
remember,
your
He's on the
little whistle.
reservation. Yelling comes with the territory.
See, there he goes.
There it goes.
Hope he was yelling at the horses and not somebody else.
So has the summer been extremely hot for you guys too in your areas? We hit 120 the other day.
I guess I got nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
It's the hottest on record here ever the other day. 120. It was like ended up being like almost 121. Stupid hot.
Well, I thought you was in Nevada.
I am.
Well, I thought that was like daily basis.
Usually like 112, 113.
Oh, okay.
There's a big difference between 112 and 120. I'm telling you.
After you get past 110, it seems like it should all be about the same.
After you get
No.
past 100, it's about all the same.
I thought the same thing. Once you you just get above 115, like 116, 117 feel twice as hot as like 105. It's insane. It's painful to be outside. It's that hot.
Yeah. Well, fellas, I'm gonna have to go bale hay here in about 4 minutes.
What the heck?
Oh, it's that time of year, huh?
Yeah. Waiting for that moisture to come up.
So that means you haven't gone to bed all day.
Actually, no, I haven't. Today.
Better put auto steer in that tractor.
Oh no! You see, all them younger boys that are teenagers, they got them tractors. I'm back in the old 4430, but I got air conditioning. That's all I care about.
That's funny. Is one of the neighbors there got auto steer when I was up there in South Dakota, and put the hired man out there. New kid had never been on a farm before. Runs a combine off in a creek, and I'm not talking like Little Creek. I'm talking like Medicine Lodge River Creek.
Wow.
And they asked him, like, what in the world? Why did you let it do it? And he said, well, it's got auto steer in it. Like, you still got to turn it around at the end of the field.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many people that get in an auto steer tractor don't know that. You know, that auto steer has cost me more fence repairs from people that didn't know that.
What's funny is my boss had just got auto steer, or was thinking about getting auto steer, and I said, well, I'm glad you told me that before you got it, because I said I wouldn't know.
The owner of the horses stopped me, said if you can box them in, and guess what? They box themselves in. So
Smart horses.
There you go.
I just want these horses out of here. I chase them every day.
You don't just
Sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less.
You just mow
One
the
time
yard
there
with
was. So sometimes there's like 10 horses. Sometimes there's 2 horses. They just vanish and appear when they want to.
them. Most I ever had was 9. And that was enough. That was a nightmare.
I'm just trying to figure out where it's just like he just needs to take care of them, so I don't be chasing them every shift.
Yeah.
Start
I say when I need to update my resume and put horse wrangler on it.
Yeah, well, guys, I'm going to go. Are you guys going to stay on, or are you ready to go too?
They can go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably go.
Yeah, thanks, Snapper, for jumping on. Hopefully you feel better.
I'm just sorry I'm so freaking late, man.
That's
you're
no big
good.
deal.
Hopefully I'll start feeling better and be more me soon. I'm just been blah, so much blah lately. I don't know if it's part of the heat too of being this sick, but I don't know. Who knows?
Mm.
Yeah, well, you might check into that West Nile, because, man, I got that a couple of years ago. It ain't fun.
It's just we're coming up on like a month and a half, almost 2 months of Yeah, I'll feel better some days. Some days I'll start running a fever again, and then I'll feel better. It'll come back, and then I'll have a couple days where I feel better, but just really out of it, and then it'll come back. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. So, needs to make up its mind. Either just let me get fixed or kill me. One of the two. Getting tired of either way.
You got the sweaty shakes with it,
Yeah.
and you might have malaria.
No, that would suck. I think I got tested for that actually. Like I said, they've been running everything.
Them Remington fanboys done poisoned your food.
You know what it is? That's what it is. It's the Remington fanboy. They hired themselves some like witch person and hexed me.
Might be that haunted cult you got hanging around.
I mean, I figured he would have done that years ago by now.
Yeah. Well, if you get to feeling better, we'll do a chat on your channel at some point.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
But anyway, I gotta go. So thank you guys all for coming out. Trusting
Bye,
God.
everyone.
Keep powder dry.